So students, now we'll discuss a new topic. The topic is what we call Gauss law. Gauss, Gauss law. Okay, in the last class we have discussed about electric flux. I think all of you are aware of electric flux. Electric flux means about what now? A number of electric field lines passing through a given area is what we call electric flux. Now I'm going to take that concept now. So as we remember, the formula for electric flux is what now? Electric flux formula is given by E equal to, not E, phi equal to E dot A, and this is taken as E A cos theta. Okay, if you know exactly what is the value of area. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take here now a sphere. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to take a sphere. So it almost look like a sphere, but not exactly a sphere. Okay, imagine like a sphere in front of you now. Okay, there is center of a sphere, let's call O, and radius of sphere is how much now? Radius of sphere is, let's say, R. Radius of sphere is how much? Let's say R. That is radius of sphere. Now at the center, we have placed a charge called Q. Now since there is a charge, what will happen? There is an electric field lines are there, right? And these electric field lines are like moving in all over three-dimensional picture, right? Like I shown you that a diagram, like how the electric field lines are emerging from positive charge. This is positive charge. Now I want to find what now? I want to find electric flux. What I want to find? Electric flux through this entire sphere. First what I do now, I'll assume a smaller sphere, smaller surface area. Like this I'm going to assume now. This area I'm going to assume now. I will first find out what now? Electric flux through this area. Electric flux through this area first I'm going to find out. So this area size I'm going to take it as how much now? Delta S. Delta S indicating what now? A small or elemental area. Small area. Okay, now since it is a positive kind of charge, what is the direction of electric field? Electric field will be in the direction, right? Correct? Away from positive charge. And what is the direction of area vector? Direction of area vector is always perpendicular to given surface, right? Yes or no? So area vector will be like this here, it will be in this direction. Okay, now what is the angle between these two? Angle between these two is equal to what now? Theta equal to 0 degree. So I'm going to find out now a small flux through this area phi, that is equal to electric field E into area ds into angle is how much now? Cos 0 degree. What is the value of cos 0 degree? 1 it is. So it is become E ds, where E is what we call, students, electric field. Yes or no? Electric field. What is the formula for electric field? It is given by Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R square. That we remember. Where I'm going to use this formula here. It is become what now? Q. Why I'm taking small q? Because we are taking a small q charge divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. Radius we are taken R, right? That is R square. Because I want to find the electric field on the surface of the sphere. That's the reason. Multiplied by delta S. This is the electric flux through what now? A small elemental area, what we considered as delta S. Like this, complete this, then no, it is like a sphere, right? So what I'm going to find now? The total flux now. Total flux I need to find out. The total flux is what now? That is phi, that is equal to summation of all ds, right? Or all delta S, right? Like this delta S, here you can consider one more. Here you can consider one more. Here you can consider one more. Like there are so many I'm going to consider. Complete I'm going to take. That is what now? Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R square into delta S. So here constant things I'm going to take it outside. It will become what now? Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R square into summation of all delta S. All delta S nothing but what now? The area of all the delta S to complete sphere. is delta S. It is like sum of all the delta S, right? That is equal to what now? Total surface area of a sphere, right? Now tell me, students, what is the surface area of a sphere formula? Surface area of a sphere is what the formula? 4 pi r square, right? So I'm going to use this here. That is total flux. We are going to find now. Total flux equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square into, that is become what now? 4 pi r square. What is going to cancel here now? 4 pi r square. So what is left over now? We left with phi equal to Q divided by epsilon naught. This is what we call Gauss law. So this I can say now. Proof also I can say. Proof of Gauss law. So what actually Gauss law states now, I'm going to write here now. With the help of what different color? Yes. Now statement I'm going to write now here. The statement says that using this below equation here, okay, the total flux through any closed surface is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times of net charge enclosed by the surface. Net charge enclosed by the surface. Okay, so I can write this one now as flux phi equal to 1 by epsilon naught times of Q net charge. Okay, so this is what now? This is what we call statement of Gauss law, and it's a proof of Gauss law. So this is clear to all of you know what is Gauss law states. Okay, so this Gauss law is helping us to understand the thing like to find the electric field due to like continuous charge distribution wherever the symmetry permits. Okay, this is about Gauss law. Okay, it is of course we are taking for air medium. It is all we are taken for what medium? Air medium. If it is some other medium, what will happen, students? Just this permittivity is going to change. We need to multiply with what now? Relative permittivity. That you need to remember. Okay. So I hope that Gauss law is clear to all of you now. Is it clear to all of you, Gauss law? Can you move on to the next thing? Whether all are there or sleeping? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now there are some points out there. Those points you need to remember when you're applying a Gauss law. Look at those points now. First points to remember. Let us take new slide. Yeah. Points to remember. First point. The net charge is there no? Q net is there no? Q net is what now? The charge enclosed by the surface. Charged enclosed by the surface. Sir, what if the charge is outside? If the charge is outside, you are not supposed to consider that. That's the reason I'm telling you here. The enclosed. What is charge inside only you should consider. What is charge outside the sphere auto taking, that is not supposed to consider. Okay, one thing. Second point. Okay, second point is Gauss law is applicable for any closed surface. Okay, remember Gauss law is applicable for any closed surface. You take any cloud surface, the Gauss law is applicable. Okay, next thing. Here, and here we are going to consider, while applying a Gauss law, we are going to consider a Gaussian surface. Gaussian surface. Now I'm going to tell you about this. So what is actually Gaussian surface? It is an imaginary surface. It is what type of surface it is? Imaginary surface. Okay, it is not a real surface, it is imaginary surface. Example, I want to find out the electric field at some point due to some charges. Now I need to consider a Gaussian surface including those charges. Okay, so that is the thing you need to remember. Okay, the Gaussian surface, the surface should be considered. The surface should be considered in such a way that it include the point of calculation of electric field. Include the point of calculation of electric field, calculation of E, where E is what we call electric field. Okay, so for one more thing, Gauss law, obey inverse square law. Gauss law obeys inverse square law. Inverse square law. What is inverse square law? Anything which is changing with the inversely proportional to square of the distance. Okay, anything which is changing, which is inversely proportional to square of the distance, that you need to remember. Okay. So these are the things clear to you now, the points. So here you need to remember these points whenever you're applying Gauss law. And here this Gaussian surface, what you're going to take, no? This Gaussian surface, when you're taking, that should not pass through any discrete charges. Okay. So when you're considering, you need to take care of that. Gaussian surface should not pass through any discrete charges. Okay, why the question is like, sir, why, what will happen if it is pass? If it is pass, what will happen? You know, at the point, we don't know how exactly electric field is going to change at very near to the charge. Okay, that's the reason we are not going to consider that. If you know, you can do it. If you don't know, don't do it. Okay, that's the thing. So these are the points you need to remember related to what now? Gauss law. So this topic is clear to all of you now. So can you go for applications of Gauss law? There are three applications out there that we need to know. So it will help us to find the electric field due to those using Gauss law. So let us go for now one by one applications. Applications of Gauss law. Means using Gauss law, we are going to find electric field. So first I'm going to take now, first application number one, I say field due to what? Field means here what type of field it is? Electric field, it is standard, it is. Okay, field due to an infinitely long straight uniform, okay, straight uniformly charged wire. Okay, so this is the first application we're going to do now. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to consider now an uniformly charged wire. I'm going to consider now. Let us look at the wire now. This is a uniformly charged wire, and this is extended up to infinity. Okay, infinitely length I told you already. It is extended up to infinity. For convenience, what I'm going to do, students, I'm going to take positive charge. What I'm going to take now? I'm going to take positive charge. I'm going to take now. Okay, and this is extended till where now? Till infinity. I cannot show you on the diagram on the screen. That's the reason I'm putting the dotted line above and below. Okay, now since it is a positive charge and the charges which are distributed linearly, so what type of charge density we need to consider? Linear charge density we need to consider. One thing. Second thing, now I need to find out what now here? I need to find out electric field. At some point, due to what now? This linear charge distribution. So I'm going to consider what now? A Gaussian surface. What is a Gaussian surface? An imaginary surface it is. That imaginary surface should not pass through discrete charge, but it can pass through continuous charge. Okay. Now I'm going to consider a Gaussian surface. That surface is left to your choice. How you are going to consider? Depending upon the problem you are going to consider, the sphere is how much or a surface is how much it is. I'm going to consider like this. This is a Gaussian surface. What I'm going to consider now. This is what we call this is Gaussian surface. What I consider. This is a linear charge density, what we're taken now. Okay, now I want to find the electric field due to this at various points. Let me say 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here. At these 3 points, let's say names 1, 2, and 3. At these 3 points, what I should do now, students? First, I should write the direction of electric field first. What is the direction of electric field? Here, it means direction, right? Away from sphere, right? Away from the linear charge. At this point, like this direction. Okay, like this direction electric field is there. Now I need to look at the area vector each and every place there. Look at this is upper sphere, upper area. So area vector about direction now in this direction. Let us say area vector is n cap. At this cylindrical surface, area vector about direction now in this direction, n cap. At this it is below, right? Area vector is like this direction. Means as you know, area vector is perpendicular to given surface. Now at these 3 locations, here theta is how much now? 90 degree. That is angle between electric field and area vector. Here theta is how much now? It is 0 degree between these two, and here theta is again how much now? 90 degree. Okay, this is theta equal to how much now? 90 degree. So this is clear to all of you now. The diagram is clear. Let's say this length of this sphere, okay, this is what we're taking Gaussian surface is L, and its radius, let's say R. The radius is how much? Let's say R. Okay, this is about a diagram what we need to consider for calculation of what now electric field. I hope that the diagram is clear to all of you. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to find the electric flux at those 3 regions. Where now those 3 regions what I considered. Apart from these 3 regions, any other possible regions are there? No, because upper anywhere you take, it will be same, and curved surface anywhere you take, it will be same, and the lower surface anywhere will be same. Okay, now first I'll find what now? Electric flux I'm going to find at these three places locations. The total electric flux I'm going to find now first. Total electric flux I'm going to consider now. That is phi equal to electric flux at location 1 plus electric flux at location 2 plus electric flux at where? Location 3. Now I'm going to insert one by one value. Electric flux at location 1 is how much now? E into the surface area of this prism, right? Okay, let's say this area is how much? Okay, not required to write now E, because look at now electric flux formula we know, flux equal to E A cos theta. Theta is how much here now? 90 degree. What is the value of cos 90 degree? 0. So electric flux through the first surface is how much now? So I'm going to shade with what now? A little bit yellow color. This area. So it will become 0 right now. Electric flux through the surface area, it will become 0 directly. I'll write 0. Next, electric flux through this curved surface I'm going to take now. That is electric field E, because here angle is 0 is there. So it never becomes 0. There is a possibility of having that one. Now I should consider the area. Area for what now? Area of the cylinder. Surface area of cylinder is how much, students, we know? 2 pi r L. Into cos 0 degree. Cos 0 degree is 1. So I'm going to leave plus. Now look at phi 3. The below area. Let me shade with what color? This color. Okay. This below area. Now again here theta is how much now? 90 degree. Then electric flux become how much now? 0. So now the electric flux only how much now it is? That is total electric flux. I'm going to continue here now. The total electric flux is equal to E times of 2 pi RL. Now I'm going to take one of from Gauss law. From Gauss law, what is Gauss law says? The total flux through any closed surface is equal to the net charge enclosed by the surface divided by epsilon naught, where Q is what we call Q net charge. So I'm going to replace this one because I don't know single charge how much is there, but this is what type of charge density? Continuous charge distribution. And in that what commutator is? Linear charge density. I can write now linear charge density lambda equal to Q net by, okay, the length, how much you have taken? Length L. Then Q net equal to lambda into L. So I'm going to replace here the flux pi equal to lambda into L by epsilon naught. So let us check this equation number 1. Let us say this equation number 2. Now we are going to compare equation number 1 and 2 from equation number 1 and 2. So what we can do now? E multiplied by 2 pi RL equal to lambda into L by epsilon naught. What is going to cancel here, students? L is going to cancel. As we cancel L, we are going to get what now? We are going to get E is equal to lambda divided by this 2 pi will come down here. It will become, I'm going to write 2 pi epsilon naught times of R. This is the electric field due to what now? An infinitely long straight uniformly charged wire. It is a scalar form. So I want to indicate vector notation. So what is the direction of electric field? Along its radius, right? So let's say r cap along its radius, right? Radially outward, right? So in vector notation, or not notion, notation or vector form, I can write like this as electric field E equal to lambda divided by 2 pi epsilon naught R into R cap. Okay, so this is what in vector rotation. This is what now? Electric field due to what now? Electric field due to infinitely long uniformly charged wire. So this is what now? The first application of Gauss law. So students, this application is clear to all of you now. Any doubt regarding this application? Can we move on to the next application? Second application, this is a 5-mark question, remember now. This is 5-mark question. There are 3 applications are there, 3 derivations, and those 3 derivations, 1 derivation will be asked to you for the part of examination. Okay, that. If there is no doubt means, let me know in the chat box so that we'll move on to next slide. Only I am getting response from only Monica, not remaining. Okay. It's only now Roshan. Now we'll go for second application. Application number 2. What is the application number 2? Electric field due to uniformly charged infinite plane sheet. Okay. So field due to a uniformly charged infinite plane sheet. Uniformly charged infinite plane sheet we are going to consider. Let us consider an infinite plane sheet now. Yes, I am to consider a plane sheet now. This is a plane sheet. It is uniformly charged. What now? It is uniformly charged with a positive charge density. I am going to take positive charge density completely just for the sake of convenience. Sir, why only positive? Why can't we take negative? You can take negative, not at all issue. But direction of electric field just reverses. That's it. If you take negative charge density, nothing more than that. Now here we are going to find now x-axis, y-axis is there. It is in what plane now? It is in plane which is perpendicular to your screen now. Okay, this is what I'm taken a plate now. That uniformly plane sheet what I've taken. This is perpendicular to the screen. Now I want to find the electric field to this. So in order to find electric field, I want to consider a Gaussian surface. That is left to my convenience. I'm going to consider like this Gaussian surface now. What I'm going to consider now, Gaussian surface, I'm going to consider like this. I think you're getting the idea about this Gaussian surface now. It is passing through exactly through the middle. Okay, there is a center. Now let's say this side length is how much now? L. And this side length is how much now? L. The total length to A. And this surface area how much? Let's say A. And its surface area, let's say how much? A it is. Okay. Now on this Gaussian surface, where is the Gaussian surface? Here is the Gaussian surface. This is what we call Gaussian surface. And this is what we call plane sheet. Okay, now I want to find some locations where I need to find electric flux now. I'm going to consider, there are 3 reasons I'm going to consider. First reason I'll consider here, location number 1. Location number 2, I can take on a curved surface anywhere. I'm going to consider here curved surface. Location number 2. On this surface, I'm going to take here location number 3. So any other possible locations are there where flux can be different? No, right? No. At these locations, I'm going to find electric field first. Electric field here, it will be in this direction. Electric field here, it will be in this direction. Electric field here, it will be in this direction. Opposite direction, right? Away from the positive charge. Now I want to find the area vector at these 3 locations. Let's say area vector at location number 1, it will be same direction like this. Let's say n cap. So angle become how much now? 0 degree. At location 2, area vector will be above, that is perpendicular to the plane. So this is n cap. Let's say angle is how much here now? Theta equal to 90 degree. At this location, like this direction, where n cap, where theta equal to how much now? 0 degree. Now this is a diagram. So diagram is clear to all of you now. Any doubt regarding the diagram? So we'll move on to the next derivation then. At these three possible locations, I'm going to find what now? I'm going to find electric flux first. So total flux I'm going to find now. Total flux through this, that is phi equal to phi 1 plus phi 2 plus phi 3. Now phi 1 is how much? Electric field into area of the surface, right? And angle is 0 degree. So what is the value of cos 0 degree? Cos 0 degree is 1. So I can write just electric flux is EA plus second location where theta is 90 degree. So flux is how much become directly? I'm going to write 90 degree at 0 plus third location angle is 0 degree. So electric flux is E into A. Here one doubt you can ask me, sir, electric flux at the first and third location are opposite direction, whether they are not going to cancel each other? No, they're not going to cancel each other because electric flux is what type of quantity? Scalar quantity. So there is no matter of direction. Okay, so that is electric flux now. So it will be adding, it will become 2 times of EA. That is a flux through the surface 1 and 3 because second surface or the curved surface is not contributing anywhere. Let's say equation number 1. So I'm going to take now using Gauss law now. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take Gauss law now. So from Gauss law, what's a Gauss law? The total flux through any surface is equal to Q net charge divided by epsilon naught. Here Q net I need to find out. This is what type of charge density? Surface charge density, right? So I can write now surface charge density that is sigma V is equal to Q net charge by what now? Q net charge by surface area of this one now. Yes or no? Charge per unit area. Here it is charge per unit area. Then can I say like this? Q net equal to sigma times of E. Where the surface charge density area, what now? This area. Because that much area only be considered for calculation part of view now. Yes or no? That's the reason. So I'm going to replace here now. It is sigma times of A divided by epsilon naught. That is 5. Let's say equation number 2. Now I'm going to take now from equation number 1 and 2. From equation 1 and 2. So let's say it will become what now? 2 times of E into A is equal to sigma times of A divided by what now? Epsilon naught. A and A is going to cancel. We're going to get E equal to sigma by 2 times of epsilon naught. Okay, so this is the electric field due to what now? Electric field due to what? Uniformly charged plane sheet, infinitely plane sheet. This is scalar notation, scalar form it is. Sir, what if I do a vector notation? So I need to include direction of electric field here. Okay, so the vector notation E vector become equal to sigma by 2 times of epsilon naught of n cap, where n cap is indicating direction. So this is what we call vector form. Okay, so this is about second application, that is electric field due to what now? Uniformly charged infinite plane sheet. Okay, yes.